Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and yes, you've read the title. It is time for another Not List, aka an episode of These Things Suck, a format where I and my neck vein Jeremy take a whistle-stop tour around the video game industry, find things that just make us feel so damn bad on the inside, and spew verbiage at you in video form for your entertainment. You are very, very welcome. And today we're talking about that most curious of beasts, the video game crossover. Now, given that the game industry is one that is built on trying to outshine, outperform, and outsell all competing titles, it's very strange to see some company mascots put down their arms and offer up crisp high fives all around, especially if the companies they represent were bitter rivals in the past. Yet, as strange as it is to see the likes of Phoenix Wright teaming up with Professor Layton, it can make for some truly unique gameplay scenarios which break the mold for both franchises and offer players something truly exciting. For example, I never realized how much I needed the Pokemon/Dynasty Warriors crossover that was Pokemon Conquest, but now, it's my firstborn child! Still, sometimes the collaboration of two companies doesn't always hit the right notes with audiences, and as such can seek to damage both parties as well as piss off two fan bases instead of just the one. We're talking poor gameplay, terrible choices, and just a lack of respect for both mascots in these games, so let's take a look at the absolute stinkers today, shall we? As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and wouldn't you know it, these video game crossovers suck. So if you're an IP with even a modicum of interest, there's a good chance that Fortnite has been sniffing your seat the moment that you've stepped out for lunch, such as their greasy desire to shift microtransactions. Seriously, Ed Gein was less obsessed with skins, and it is truly alarming to see even mighty franchises bow and bend the knee to the mighty V-Buck. Now don't get me wrong, for the most part the crossovers are largely inoffensive, offering up some decently rendered skins and utterly bizarre dance moves, and in some cases like the Travis Scott live music event, can be legitimately impressive. Seriously, I don't even play Fortnite and I have watched that video countless times. Whoa, brother? However, things got super stinky when it came to Star Wars crossing paths with Fortnite because, for many fans, it straight up spoiled Rise of the Skywalker for them. Now, we're all aware that the sequel trilogy of films has had their fair share of problems and made some rather questionable decisions, but for Lucasfilm to take a key plot point of their movie and dole it out via Fortnite was a boneheaded decision that made them look a galaxy far, far away from understanding how to interact with their core fan base. The plot point in question was Emperor Bloody Palpatine announcing that he was still alive, which, as you might expect, is rather huge. When it came to the film's release, however, this rather crucial moment was revealed during a text crawl, robbing the reveal of any real impact and leaving fans having to Google Fortnite in order to catch up on the IP they actually cared about. Now, I'm sure that the Venn diagrams of being a Fortnite fan and a Star Wars fan do intersect, but just look what happens to Joe when I do those things. Ooh, he's getting angry. Ooh, he's getting real angry now. Ooh, I'm actually a bit worried about what's going to happen when they do cross. Oh god. Long story short, Joe's a big Star Wars fan. One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball. Big anime boobies. These are the four pillars of pretty much every single Shonen Jump fan's obsession. And the rampant success of each has led to everyone and their nan knowing who Luffy, Naruto, and Goku are. Therefore, when Jump Force was announced as a title looking to tie these three juggernauts together into a fighting game for the ages, it was enough to make many weeb their pants in excitement. However, what should have been the holy trinity of crossovers soon became a cross to bear, as while the animations and visuals of this game dazzled with flash and lighting effects, it was soon clear that this was a title as hollow as a promise from Frieza not to kill your entire civilization. Seriously, that wee little Baldy over there making a promise is kind of like the living meme of that Arnold Schwarzenegger moment where he's just there like, I lied. He's a liar. Worse still was the fact that despite each IP possessing some of the most engrossing narrative arcs in all of manga history, this felt like you were watching a fan-made filler episode. Characters would spout generic lines with such force that it felt like a sickening body blow that was then followed up with a cracking fist to the jaw in the form of stale and lifeless cutscenes. This wasn't the one-stop thrill ride that we were promised and more of an exhibition on the world of queuing. Oh boy, I can't wait to get to the front. The true sin of this experience was how the game played, with fans finding utterly broken combos within moments of launch that destroyed any aspect of challenge and fair play from the title. With so many characters at their disposal and a fighting system that was proven to work in the likes of Ninja Storm and Xenoverse, this should have been a surefire hit, but this was a disaster from start to finish, leading to the game being delisted and the servers being announced to be shut down in August of this year. Jump Force? More like jump the shark with a forced joke. Yep. So before I begin this entry into the not list that is this episode, I am going to be talking about a game that will probably rile a few people up. I'm going to be talking about Nicktoons MLB, the crossover between Nickelodeon and Major League Baseball. Now, I know that this will rile a few people up because of the fact that they probably love this game. They'll probably be taking off whatever piece of SpongeBob tap that they managed to con you into buying and throw it at your screen, and then they'll make a poorly worded and grammatically incorrect Reddit post about how I'm a silly sausage. But before you do, my friend, just let me say this. I'm not actually talking about all of Nicktoons MLB. I'm talking about one specific version, and that's the Xbox 360 version. If you played it, you know what I'm talking about, but for those who don't, let's get on with it. But before we begin this, let's take a step back and look at what we're dealing with here. Firstly, it's baseball and Nicktoons. The crossover itself feels like the least likely event ever, and outside of fans of both acting like hyperactive little children after a few pints of fizzy pop, I can't see how the Venn diagrams overlap in a way that screams, this has to be made into a video game. Secondly, as I said before, I'm not actually talking about Nicktoons MLB as a whole being an utter shipwreck, but specifically about the Xbox 360 version, which, while having greater visual fidelity, and I mean, who doesn't want to see a horrible, unblinking SpongeBob smash the piss out of a baseball with a worrying degree of strength in HD, fell apart completely when it came to its Kinect integration. Now, as we all know, the Kinect in all of its forms can be a motion sensor with some, let's just call them quirks, and by that I mean that the only thing this unit seems to register is you smashing it apart with a hammer. You could be sitting in the perfect setup and still be told that you aren't even in the bloody room, so imagine how frustrating it is to be told to play a game of baseball with it. Now, the Wii version of this game managed to knock it out of the park. It's almost like the motion controls were actually baked into the console's complete identity, but when it came to the Xbox 360 version, it didn't even make it into the bloody stadium. It was a pre-game tailgating party choking on a mouldy hot dog. So, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, these two lovable mascots actually love appearing in each other's games as well, and it's actually been a charming facet of both franchises to see each other give winks and nods to the other. Isn't it so heartwarming, right? However, when it came to a blatant crossover event between the pair, which here in the UK was known as Spyro and Crash Fusion, things went all Brundlefly, and the resulting mess was a creeping massive swill that fans immediately passed on. Now, setting the adventures on the Game Boy Advance was always going to limit what was capable of such a crossover, but things truly went sideways when the Fusion duo decided that everything that Spyro was known for, aka charging, gliding, and fire breathing, was simply too much to handle and removed each in near entirety. Here, players were given a Spyro that kind of snotted flames seemingly at random instead of breathing them, while also giving them limited and stilted platform design that made no effort to hide its laziness, and in place of flight sections seemed to stuff Spyro Fusion full of vehicles in a desperate attempt to offer variance, each of which handled about as well as the Titanic and was almost on equal footing when it came to a disastrous experience. It's unanimously agreed that Spyro Fusion was the worst of the pair, as there's so little Spyro about it that one has to ask what the point of the crossover was. Crash Fusion, on the other hand, while not being a great game and full of its own glitches and technical issues, was still able to feel like Crash, if only because the gameplay approach mirrored that of its console counterparts. It's such a shame that a crossover with this much goodwill and fan support ended up tanking so badly, mainly due to how thoroughly work-shy the devs seemed to be when tasked with making a series to honour both franchises. So yeah, Spyro and Crash Fusion did feature a lot of crashing and burning, but just not in the way they were probably expecting. So now we're going to be talking about a game that I was conned into buying. I still kind of like this game. I was actually reliving the moment there, completely lost in my own mind for a few seconds. Fantastic. Right, so we close today's not list by talking about a game that I actually own, was conned into buying, and we all know why I was conned into buying it. No, it's not a Dead or Alive beach volleyball game. Come on, guys, get your minds out of the gutter. No, I'm talking about the classic crossover between Namco and Square Enix, a fighting game. You know where I'm going with this. There are Final Fantasy fighting characters in. Guys! So if you've ever seen this title and wondered how it was pronounced, all you've got to do is put yourself into the mind of a QA tester coming in to sort of talk about the litany of bugs and issues with this game. Knock, knock, knock. Guys? Now, to be honest, saying the full title of this game, Guys, God Bless the Ring, is actually the most fun that you'll have with this title, as despite it featuring a lovely dose of Final Fantasy cameos, is about as well constructed as a murder alibi written in the victim's blood. Worse still is that for some unknown reason, a ton of dev time was put into a mode that wasn't even advertised in the lead up to the game's release, which featured a pseudo-RPG mode in which you went on an epic quest to punch evil right on the snout. Now, on paper, this seems like a charming distraction, but because this mode also features the your fighters move with all the grace of a coma patient, means that you'll be missing shots, taking beatdowns, and wrestling in handicap matches where the AI and the camera team up to swanton bomb you through a table. It is not a smooth game. It is not a good game. It is an utterly broken game, as anyone who knows that... just use Cloud. Just don't use anyone else in this game. If you want to win, just use Cloud. You know why? Because he's got a bloody sword. He just gets it out and just goes 1, 2, 3 combo, 1, 2, 3 combo, 1, 2, 3... I won. Oh, fantastic. What a challenging game. He literally starts the fight with his fists up. Don't do that. Unsheath the sword, ram it through, done. I wanted this game to be good. I mean, it's got Final Fantasy characters in, but that's the point. It conned us all. It's a bad crossover game as a result. Boo, boo, you play like gravel, boo. And there we go, my friends. Those were those video game crossovers. Suck. I hope that you enjoyed that. And please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, as well as any other entries that you would have put into this not list, because I love reading them. And who knows, maybe I'll come back and do another. These video game crossovers suck even more. We'll come back and do some more of those down the line. But let me know down below what you think about it. And if you want to chat to me further on the social medias, you can go over to Twitter, where you can type in @RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and you'll find this handsome egg right here. Or you can go to Live and Let's Dice. That's my board game channel where I do all of my Warhammer stuff, painting up some scenery on the table at the moment, because I know that people love to squint in the background and see what I'm working on. You stay away from that. That's not your table, that's my table. You can go check out, and I do all my live streams as well. But before I go, I do just want to say one thing. Hope you treat yourself with love and respect, my friend, because you deserve all the best things in life, and do not let anything... Oh, get a frog in my throat. But before I go, my friends, I just want to say one thing. Hope you treat yourself with love and respect, because you deserve all of the best things in life, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, alright? You're a massive ledge, and we just go out there and actually smash it today. I believe in ya. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.